The word of wisdom, which is advanced knowledge, is so powerful. Here was a man who had believed God for 25 years for a son, a child, and it didn't happen. And God wasn't talking about the present circumstances Abraham found himself in. He was telling him events of the future. He was giving him advanced knowledge, what was to come, even though at the particular time he heard God, he didn't have a child. And it was very difficult. We all face situations with our loved ones and our families and our children where you are dealing with situations with your children and your loved ones and families and friends, and you are expecting to hear from God for him to tell you something about the situation as it prevails at that particular time. You want some answers, and God won't give you those answers. He rather tells you the future. And sometimes when you look at the kids and you look at friends, you look at loved ones, you ask yourself, how can this child or this husband or this wife or this brother or this sister or this friend of mine become what God is saying? Because if you look at the present circumstances, it's very difficult to believe anything God is telling you, that this very particular person or individual can change and can become what God is saying. But God sees the future. He declares the end from the beginning. And so he doesn't pay attention to what's going on right now. He's looking at what the individual will become. And I have faced situations where many times I've dealt with situations with my own kids, with siblings, with friends, with loved ones, members of the church, and the Spirit will say something or reveal things about who they will become, their potential, and what they are yet to be and everything. And sometimes I struggle with it in my flesh, because if you look at the present circumstances, what's going on, what is happening, it's so very difficult to believe that they can change, and it's difficult to believe that anything good will come out of them. But the Bible said, can any good thing come out? Can any good thing come out of Nazareth? Can any good thing come out? And so God wasn't looking at the present circumstances. He was looking at the future. And even though Abraham didn't have children, and the things God was saying didn't make sense to the natural mind, it was true. It was going to happen. And how was it revealed? By the word of wisdom, as the Spirit willed. Abraham didn't go asking God, what will the future of my children be like? But God said, Abraham, because of what you have done, that you put me first, that you didn't allow the blessing I've given to you to come between me and you, I swear by myself that I will blow your mind. Your seed shall possess the gates of their enemies. Your seed shall be as the stars of heaven, and as the sea, as the sand of the seashore. It was God that was revealing all those things. There was no way Abraham could see or understand, and he didn't even ask God about the future of his kids. He didn't. But God had a plan for them. And so let me encourage every parent here, and let me encourage everyone hearing the sound of my voice. There are people we care about, our kids, our grandchildren, our loved ones, our siblings. There are individuals we care about. And sometimes I have seen pastors, bishops, prophets, evangelists, people, and that is why I don't give up on people. It's very, very difficult for me to give up on people. When you see me give up on somebody, I have gone the extra mile, and I've done everything that I know how to do in the best possible way. But I've learned not to give up on people, because you are never sure of what can become of them. If you look at who I was before I got born again, and even after I got born again, the difficulties and the challenges I had, it will shock you. It has taken me many, many, many years to come to where I am now by the grace of God. And that is why I'm very careful of, I'm very, very careful. I don't like criticizing people. I don't like attacking people. I used to do that when I was young in ministry, but I'm very careful these days that I don't just get up and attack people, because you don't know when somebody will turn around. I remember many years ago, there was a man of God not too far away from here, and he was into a particular cult. He had a church. but it was a white garment church. And I had a revelation about him, so I went to his church and I literally attacked him. I didn't handle it too well. I was very zealous, and what I did was to condemn him. You know, I didn't handle it too well. And he also knew that he was on the wrong side. But he was very upset with me. A few years after, he had some crisis, and he got born again, and we became friends. And I realized that I didn't handle things very well. I was very, very zealous, and his whole church was turned around and everything. Before he passed away, he became friends, and he was in the charismatic move and everything. But he was doing something based on what he knew at that time, what he was brought in and taught and brought up in. So he didn't have any other way. He didn't have any alternative till I went to speak to him. And even though I was harsh, I was able to communicate to him that the way he was going was not the way to go. Now, I didn't have understanding like I do today then, so I didn't handle it too well. But again, it's important for you and I to be careful how we make conclusions about people, because some of the things God was telling Abraham when he didn't even have kids, and then even after when he had Isaac, were very, very complicated, very challenging and difficult situation. But God said, I'm not looking at the present circumstances, I'm looking at the future. So let me encourage every parent here, don't give up on your children. Every husband, don't give up on your wife. Wives, don't give up on your husband. Don't give up on your grandchildren. Don't give up on people easily. And I know it's tough. Sometimes there are some human beings, they are so difficult to deal with, difficult to handle, stubborn, rebellion. Hey, tough situations, very difficult people. But that is the now. But if the Holy Spirit, through the word of wisdom, reveals their future to you, like Saul who became Paul, it will blow your mind.